Today we are going to create an outline of how we want to integrate the keywords that we found in the last video into our plan of attack for our blog post or whatever type of content you're creating here. This is called the outline template I'm going to show you is called the blog post planner template. You can still use this for product listings, for case studies, for anything that you're creating on your website. This can still work for you. Blog posts are just kind of the easiest piece of content to create because you can get so hyper specific. So let me show you on my other screen. I moved myself up a little bit. Hi. So I've got here a blog post planner template. If you have already signed up for the emails and the podcast feed and the transcripts, this will be included underneath this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can just hop, I'll include a link just to get this planner template if that's all you need, or heck, make it yourself, right? I actually don't do this in Google Docs for my business. I do this in Notion where I can tag in all these different keywords and have them round up and stuff. But I'm not going to teach you how to do that here. That's more than we want to do in this case. But here's the deal with this blog post planner template. We're going to take a lot, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. We're going to take a lot of those ideas that we have from our keyword research review yesterday, and we're going to include them right here in this template. So I'm going to actually turn these into two windows to make it easier. And we can do this. This is like a, putting them side by side. And we said that I wanted my target keyword, or I want my topic to be how long SEO takes. And then my target keyword, we're going to go find it. We're going to put in the exact information from that keyword. So that way I remember it. How long does SEO take? I'm just going to kind of copy paste this. And our all-time search volume for how long does SEO take. Sorry, I'm doing this on two monitors. It's a little complex. 390 people a month searching for that. So I'm just going to make myself a little note right here. 390. That's 390 people a month looking for that information. And what are my synonym keywords? Remember I was talking about that in the last video. I couldn't remember the term synonym. If you want to just type these over, you can. If you want to export specific keywords, you can say, how long does it take to rank on Google? You can kind of highlight the ones that you like best and export them as a CSV. Since in this case, I'm only including 3 or 4 different keywords, I don't feel like that's totally necessary. I'm just going to copy them and say, how long does it take to get organic traffic, 110, and I'll figure out the rest of this. And then the related keywords or subtopics I'm going to include are Yoast SEO. And that's 50 people a month. And I'm shortening this a little bit because, I would retype this whole thing typically, but you guys are watching. And then I'm also going to write new website. And that was, does that show up down here? I know it showed up in our autocomplete. Okay, well, I don't have that information, but I also see over here, how long does SEO take to update? So I'll include that one. So that way we can talk about how often the Google robots will index through your website. And over the course of the next week or so, we're going to go through and fill out all of these pieces. We're going to talk about the SEO title, the meta description, but I wanted to at least get you an idea of this first part, this, what I'm calling the content brief, this idea of what exactly is it that we're talking about here and what subtopics or related keywords. We also had that what is SEO keyword that had 90,000 searches. So I want to remember that I should link this to my blog post that I already have about what is SEO. And so coming up with this plan, figuring out where these different keywords can fit in, where how different synonyms can kind of work and play well together. Come up with a cluster of keywords that mean the same thing or are related to each other, and then we can start to map out how all of these pieces fit together in an outline format. Again, this may feel like a lot of work for just a blog post, but remember that the time we're putting in at the front to plan this means that I can rank for all of these keywords, not just one or two of them. And so the goal is that every time that I create content, I'm making sure that it works for me for long term, for a lot of ideas, not just what's that thing that somebody asked me, but making sure that we're strategic and intentional about what we create. And I don't think that you'll have to do this forever. Like I said, once you get the idea of this process, you may not need the full template, but maybe if you're doing the keyword research and someone else is going to write this for you, you can write that down, and that way you can share it and make sure that they know the strategic intention of your blog post for search, or vice versa. Maybe you could have a virtual assistant do some of this work for you, set up this outline for you, and then you can just go in and write the actual post and give them the information that they need. So having this kind of structure and format will help you show up for way more than if you just kind of winged it. What's the past tense of wing? To wing something. I'm going to go with wong it. I think wong it's really fun. So in tomorrow's video, I'll talk about how to use this idea of the outline to get the ideas, to get the concepts, the end result out of your brain where it lives right now, where you're answering these questions for people all the time and needing to re-explain yourself all the time, and getting it onto paper in a very rough draft. So we'll talk about that in the next video.